Yeah, go for it.
Bam.
When do we want it?
When do we want it?
Now!
Stop the bullets!
Stop the bullets!
Stop the bullets! Stop the bullets!
Stop the bullets!
Say now, Brumbies!
Say now, Brumbies!
You name it. God, please, I would like Lily to see me personally to tell me why she's kicking us out of that friggin' forest. After all these years of loving her. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Barmah Brumbies for you and me. Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Please let them be. Local folks stand off to all, to fight for one and all. The well-loved horses turned out to run, but so the folk they never Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Barmah Brumbies for you and me. Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Please let them be. Horses form part of our heritage, and out in the bush they should rightfully live. We pay respect to our fallen friends, and protect those horses until we Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Barmah Brumbies for you and me. Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Please let them be. To warm your heart and lift your soul, come see the Brumbies and joy. Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Barmah Brumbies for you and me. Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Please let them be. So let's all fight for this special cause and protect our true blue Aussie boys. They're a part of our history. Let's hear it for the Barmah Brumbies. Here we go, guys. Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Barmah Brumbies for you and me. Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Please let them be. Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Barmah Brumbies for you and me. Barmah Brumbies live wild and free. Please let them be. Please let them be.
That will work with the managers and bring good results for future generations of wild living mobs, sustainable mobs of Brumbies. Will you accept the petition? Thank you. Here's my suitcase. Michael, would you like to speak?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go, Michael!
Thank you.
Wow!
Maybe might as well get back so we all properly know. I'm going to have to do this. Let's move this over to here. So there's the petition.
Well, part of it.
Part of it.
Make sure somebody reads it. Yeah.
Well, can I just say how good it is to see so many people here who are so passionate, so committed to preserving our Brumby population. Look at this magnificent creature behind me. How could anybody think that something as beautiful as this deserves to be shot from a helicopter, for goodness sake? No! Do we support management or do we support massacre when it comes to our Brumbies? Management! Do we support care or do we support a cull? Care! Do we support science or do we support slaughter?
Science!
So this is what the Labor government needs to do. It needs to listen. It needs to listen to people who understand the high country. It needs to understand people who actually live this. We've got people in bureaucrats and ministers who've never set foot in the Barmah, never set foot in Sherb and Brumby. They don't know what they're talking about, but their decisions could mean the end, the extinction of something that's been such an important part of our heritage, of our culture and of our history. Well, to see so many people here today, it sends the message. To see so many people who signed this petition, it sends the message, and this Labor government needs to start listening. We will not accept a slaughter of our natural Brumbies.
That's right.
Now, the upper house of this parliament has passed a motion calling on the government to stop the slaughter. Now, it's time for the government to listen. It's time for the government to act. This is a government that pretends to care about the environment. Well, these beautiful creatures, they are part of our environment. They've been part of our history, they're part of our heritage, and they are part of our culture.
Exactly right.
So, I will take this petition, and even though the government didn't have the courage to come down here and meet with you, we will take this petition up those stairs, into those chambers, and we will make sure the government hears your voice that it's time to protect our Brumbies and stop the slaughter.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. We really, really appreciate that. The next person I think I'd like to invite up to speak is Wendy Lovell. Wendy has been a passionate supporter of Victorian Brumbies for the last couple of years. So Wendy, I'd like to ask you please to speak.
Go Wendy!
So Wendy.
Thanks, Marilyn, and it's been more than the last couple of years. It's been my entire life that I've supported the Brumbies. But it was my motion that went before the upper house that called on the Victorian government to stop the shooting of the Brumbies. That motion was not just passed by the upper house, it was passed without any opposition. So the government members could not even vote against it. There were 6 government ministers who could not even support their own policy to shoot the Brumbies. This motion called on the Parliament, called on the government to stop this shooting, but the government have just ignored it. Just as Lily D'Ambrosio has ignored you today and has refused to come out and accept your petition. Michael and I will take your petition. We will make sure it gets to Lily and that she sees these 178,000 signatures on this petition. This is not the only petition. I've presented petitions on your behalf before. We still have e-petitions online now. Please encourage all Victorians to sign the e-petition so that we can send strong messages to the government that thousands and thousands, in fact the vast majority of Victorians do not support the shooting of the Brumbies. I think Melbourne people, when they know the plight of the Brumbies, will be horrified. No one supports the shooting of horses, particularly the inhumane shooting from helicopters that will maim some horses and see them die in extreme pain and discomfort. So I'll continue fighting for you as long as it takes. We want to see our Brumbies remain. We want to see our Brumbies remain not only on sanctuaries but in the wild. We want to see the culture and heritage of Australia preserved. If you think back to the 2000 Olympics, what was the image that Australia chose to portray to the world the heritage and culture of our land? It was the mountain cattlemen and their pursuit of the wild bush horses. As Banjo Patterson so eloquently put in his poem, The Man from Snowy River. We want to see that culture remain, and I will continue to fight with you and for you.
Well done.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, go for it.